Bengals training camp is just a few days away, and today the Bengals held their annual media luncheon where we heard from Mike Brown, Duke Tobin, Zach Taylor, and the Bengals offensive, defensive, and special teams coordinators. We have all the videos right here on CBT, but guess what? It's time to react to their comments, including what they had to say about Joe Burrow's potential contract extension. Hi again, everyone, and welcome in to Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien of allbengals.com. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for the best Bengals coverage all training camp long, from highlights to interviews to one-on-ones to exclusive content you're not going to get anywhere else. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because this is free and it's going to pop up right on your device, on your TV, wherever you watch, wherever you get your Bengals info. And so let's dive on in and look, let's start here. Joe Burrow's contract, it isn't done as of recording this. Maybe it'll get done as we're recording this, but Mike Brown, Duke Tobin, they were all on the same page, buttoned up, weren't willing to comment specifically on negotiations with Joe Burrow, which I understand. I asked Mike why, and he said, we didn't want it out there. We didn't want a he said, she said, and Joe Burrow's agent has obviously agreed to it as well. And so I think that's the mature way to go about it. And I think it's clear. The organization knows that this is the biggest deal in franchise history. The way they work through it has got to be hand in hand with Joe so that they can try to keep him and then also keep some of these other big fish that they have on the roster. And so that's kind of where we're at right now. Is Joe Burrow obviously wants to be in Cincinnati. The Bengals want to keep him. Mike Brown said as much. He said it starts with Joe Burrow, and did imply, and again, check out all of these videos. I was going to do clips, but why do that when you can get my reaction here on this video and then check out all of these other videos right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk? So make sure that you check out the Mike Brown one, especially because we don't hear from him much. And so one thing that Mike said is basically, and he implied that there's an order, and then you have to get Joe done. So you know how much it takes to get Joe done, because he is the big fish, the biggest fish, whatever you want to say. And he described the salary cap as a pie, and he went with that analogy. He said he knows their good players need to get fed, and they're not going to be able to feed them all. And I think we started to see that with the Jesse Bates, with the Von Bell. And we're going to continue to see that. But can they keep the big three, so to speak? And that's not necessarily their nickname, but Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, can they keep them around long term? I think that is a very interesting discussion that a lot of teams probably outside looking in at the Bengals are wondering if they can. Here's what I know they can do, and I think they will do. They will get a Joe Burrow extension done. It's clearly in the reason, by the way, that they weren't willing to talk about it is because how serious it is. This is something that they need to get done. They know it. And I think Joe wants to get it done and needs to get it done to a degree, because you don't want to go into this year without a contract. So we will see when it gets done. But my sense is that it's priority 1, 2, and 3 on the list when you're ranking these potential negotiations and contracts. So T. Higgins is on there, no doubt. Jamar isn't eligible yet, so you can't put him on there. Obviously, there's some other guys. DJ Reader, I asked Duke Tobin about him. His value obviously has a huge impact on this defense. So we'll see that there are guys that they want to keep. Logan Wilson keeps being mentioned as well, and it's because he's eligible for a contract extension. We will see. But it starts with Joe Burrow, and that's the big takeaway today is they know how important it is. And shocker, right? I mean, there's no huge breaking news, no huge crazy takeaway, but I certainly think that's one of them. The other one is Mike Brown. He was asked about winning in his legacy and what the past couple of years have meant to him. And there were a couple of buts in there, because as fun as it's been, they haven't finished it. And I think that's their mindset now, is finishing it, finding a way to get that Super Bowl and get that after 56 years now of finding a way to get it done and complete the job. And so we will see if they can. Obviously, expectations are as high entering a season as they've ever been, and rightfully so, from Joe Burrow to the roster talent, to the depth on the roster. I think that was one of the themes, was how deep this team is in different areas. I know they're really comfortable with the offensive line, and Duke was asked about communication with Jonah, and they like Jonah. They think Jonah's a good player, and we'll see there if Jonah Williams can slide into that right tackle spot. He's certainly going to have to show the coaching staff that he deserves it, but I think he's clearly the favorite there. The other thing, Joe Mixon. taking the pay cut that he did, agreeing to that new contract, Mike Brown, Duke Tobin, praising Mixon for understanding what his market was, what the running back market has done, and also knowing the value that the Bengals, they do value him and they wanted to keep him, but it needed to be at a more not only market friendly rate, team friendly rate. And they praised him for doing that. And Mike continued to use the pie analogy, saying he took a little less of the pie. Yeah, he did. There's no doubt about it. And some would say he had no choice. I think others would praise him. I would praise him too, because it's hard to do that. And it's much easier in some instances to say, nah, I'll just go elsewhere where they want to court me versus this place that I've been in taking a cut. And so he took a cut, and obviously he's going to be the Bengals' first and second down running back. I asked Zach about if Joe's role could change this year. Doesn't anticipate it changing much, and I'm paraphrasing, but that Zach Taylor interview is up as well. The running back room, though, that's going to be interesting because those guys behind Mixon, they're looking for the next Samaje Perine, and it may be multiple guys. Zach Taylor saying that today. So that's certainly something that I'll be looking forward to for training camp on Wednesday when things start off. So there's not a lot of updates as far as contracts go. I think that the Bengals know, though, that they have to get it done. And just talking with some, it has been kept tight to the vest. There's a reason there isn't a lot of leaky faucets and reports out there, because there are high-ranking officials in the building that haven't been given any insight into how negotiations are going with Joe Burrow, right? Because it's really and I'm sure it's probably Mike, Zach, Duke, not in that order, Katie, and that might be it. I mean, that might be it, where it's just shut down, that's it, and then it's Joe, his agent, and that's it. So we will see there. But regardless, Bengals training camp is back. Mike Brown certainly hungry to win, and in that desire to win. He said he fascinates about it, of winning a Lombardi, bringing a Super Bowl trophy here to Cincinnati. We'll see if he can get it done. But that is the big takeaway today, is they are it's almost full court press in my mind to try to get a deal done with Joe Burrow. And what are the hangups? I don't know. I don't know if it's years. I get it. If I'm the Bengals, I would try to keep him around for years and years and years. 10-year deal if you can. And if you're Joe, you probably want to be at least scheduled to become a free agent much sooner than that. So that's probably one of the many sticking points. We don't have many details, but overall, I think the Bengals are in a good place. They have great depth, and we're going to have a video on Tuesday kind of reviewing that depth, because they address some things. They've made a couple moves, whether it's La'el Collins on the physically unable to perform list, Mitch Wilcox signing him. I want to discuss some of those updates as well. But with this video, I wanted to react to what we heard from Mike Brown today, what we heard from Duke Tobin, Zach Taylor, Brian Callahan, Darren Simmons. All of those videos are right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and hopefully I'll see you at training camp. If you're at camp, as always, say hi. I love all of the support that you guys have given us here and on Locked On Bengals and allbengals.com over the past few years, and it's continuing. That train, it's taken off, and we are ready to go for the 2023 season. So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and until next time, for Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien, signing off for now on CBT, Cincinnati Bengals Talk.